Richard, why don't we start just by giving everybody a little context? So introduce the book, Answers for Ethical Marketers, but let's make sure that everybody understands who is the ethical marketer today. So I'm going to kick that one to you first.
Well, thank you, Deirdre. And I don't want to have too much of a spoiler alert from the introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to write it, but everyone is an ethical marketer. No matter what department or role you're in, that could be in marketing department, that could be in business development, everyone in an organization is the voice of that organization's responsible and ethical business practices. So it's not a support function responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility.
Well, I feel exactly the same way. And sometimes I often wonder because in certain circles, it's pushed into marketing or PR, where because it's communication, the folks who are managing the communication automatically are seen as the ethics police, the conscience of the organization, when in essence, your leadership has to be there, HR has to be there, but then it permeates out and hits every level and every single professional. Are you finding through your journey, because I know you do a lot of work with companies, that people are understanding that and it's becoming a part of culture?
They are. They're appreciating that the legal, and we'll talk to Sheila a little bit about this, the legal and compliance department can build the best ethics and compliance and risk platform. But if that's not coming through the voice of business, through the corporate narrative, not just the legal or marketing one, then everyone's going to think, well, doing what's right is a support function around here. So we're a little bit on an ethics and compliance journey, but it's heading in the right direction where I think everyone really now appreciates that those external marketing values that we're trying to convince the world, right? What our wonderful brand and value proposition, that also needs to be a part of internal culture. So I think there is an appreciation that this is a global and it's a workforce responsibility, not a marketing or a compliance one.
That is a great point. You mentioned values, and I always stress that values, your ethics and values are a personal choice, and it's also a business practice. And for all of the students coming into the business world and young professionals, you have a set of values. You do not leave them at the doorstep of your organization. And you should align with the business. And when that happens, you take your ethics, your values, and your ethical conduct goes wherever you go. And it's through every conversation and every interaction. And for me, the ethical marketer is the person who shows up with that good purpose to serve. It's someone who does it with care and respect and transparency. And it goes by the do no harm, right? If we all walked around with the do no harm, I think that we'd see a lot of ethical conduct. So do you feel the same way? Is that the values meet with the company?
Absolutely. I mean, having your personal values align with your organizational values, as Ken's contribution addresses, and I thought it was an inspiring contribution. I mean, that's so significant because we don't feel tension between our own principles, our own purpose, and our own values, and that of our organization. And such a wonderful part of your book, Deirdre, is there's some great actionable advice about what happens when maybe there's a little misalignment, or what do you do when you're not sure about what the right ethical decision is? So the book is just filled with how do we fill those gaps, because they inevitably exist.